The top of the Premier League table looks like this. It is Liverpool leading heading into the international break. But as we know, goalkeeper Alisson is out for 6 weeks. So let's take a look at the games that he's going to miss, because once they do return from action, things do really get tough around the slotsmen. You've got Chelsea, Leipzig in the Champions League, away to Arsenal, away to Brighton. That's in the EFL Cup though, but then they have Brighton at home in the Premier League, Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League, and then Aston Villa in the Premier League as well. Is this going to be a problem for Liverpool, no Alisson, with these games ahead, Stevie?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, with that schedule coming up, you need your best players, and there's no question that whoever is in goal, whether it's Laios or Keller, they're going to have to perform, because so far Liverpool have given some opportunities away, but so far the teams haven't managed to take them. So when you've got, I guess you could call it your reserve goalkeeper in, then obviously that's not ideal.
Do you think this is the biggest test yet?
That Bologna game, they gave up a lot of chances as well, didn't they, in the Champions League? And Stevie was right earlier. We looked at the graphic of the start of the season, and you can only do what you can do. But it was I mean, if Arne Slot could have picked some fixtures at the start of the season to kickstart his Liverpool career, he wasn't far off. He wouldn't have been far off picking those teams. And I include Man United in that, because they've been so bad. But you still have to go out and perform and win, and they have played some good football at times, a little bit different in style. But this period now, after this break, that's when we're really going to learn about his team selection, his tactics, and how they're going to cope, because that's some big fixtures coming up.
What do you think, Ian? Is this a feel for how much we can really judge them by this season, this test ahead with these teams that lie ahead?
Yeah, I think it's a good litmus test the next few weeks. They have had a comparatively easy run, no question about it, compared to some of the other teams. But I don't think, I mean, Alisson's a great goalkeeper, and you'd always want your number one goalkeeper for games like that. But I think Kevin Kelleher has proved when he's come into the team that it's not too much of a drop. It's not a horrible drop from one goalkeeper to the other. Generally, he's performed pretty well. He thinks he's a number one. He didn't even like it when Jurgen Klopp said he was the best number two goalkeeper in the world. He said, I'm not a number two, I'm a number one. So I think he'd have been quite happy to get a move. And of course, he might get a move because they've got Mamardashvili, the Georgian goalkeeper who they bought, but they've gone back to Valencia, but he'll be in next season. So you don't know what the future is with that. But I think Kelleher's okay. So I don't think it's a fatal hole in Liverpool's makeup for these big games ahead.
Meanwhile, Jurgen Klopp has taken on a new role, but it is head of global soccer at the Red Bull Group. So he'll be starting this role January 1st, 2025, supporting sports directors of the teams that fall under that, mentoring coaches and helping develop talent.
I can't get my head around
this. He gets
a
box of cigars every week along with it.
But I can't get my head around this. I mean,
what are you saying, Stevie?
He gets a box of cigars along with that job every week delivered to his front door, because that's what he's going to be doing, right?
What, he can't be sitting on his backside?
He's going to be going to games and doing all the stuff he probably would have done anyway. I mean, come on.
But I thought he was going to...
Why can't you get your head around it then?
Well, because these managers, they just can't help themselves. We just talked at Bielsa, 69. We had Roy Hodgson at Crystal Palace, who I think was in his 70s. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. It's like, I haven't got a problem with them managing, but it seems like it's just ingrained in them. It's in their blood. They can't leave it. It's
because he said he wanted the year out. And
Jurgen Klopp Jurgen Klopp managed the way Liverpool played. It was like full on. Yeah. And he looked and even said it himself. He said, I am done in. It has been intense for 8 years or whatever it is, and I need a break. And it's not a problem, but I just can't get my head around these managers taking a year or two. When they say they need a break, as soon as the first thing comes along that fancies them, they're like to their wife or their partner or whatever, right, forget about that, I'm off again. It just seems like they can never, ever just go to the golf course or go fishing or leave it alone. As soon as it comes back along, it's like, right, I'm back in again.
Yeah, and it hasn't gone down well with everyone. Borussia Dortmund fans, some of them can be included in that, Ian. What do you think of Jurgen Klopp taking this role on?
Oh, you're right, because there's a lot of feeling against Leipzig in Germany. You know, something like Derek Ray could give you chapter and verse on that, but they regard Leipzig and that Red Bull operation there as a slightly manufactured, you know, turning a sixth-tier team into one of the leading teams in the country, etc., etc. So, yeah, the Dortmund fans are not too impressed. He won 2 titles, of course, there. But I understand with Jurgen Klopp here, there's a clause in the contract that says if he gets offered the Germany job, which that could happen, I guess, after the World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. That could happen. He can go and do that job. So you wouldn't need too vivid an imagination to see Jurgen Klopp turning up as the coach of Germany. And I just wonder if there's another clause we don't know about, that if Real Madrid came along when Ancelotti ever leaves and said, "How do you fancy this?" He might be going there as well. I mean, going back to Craig's point about spending time on the golf course, I would think with this job he's got, where he's just going to be mentoring the coaches within the Red Bull operation, it won't be too full on. So I think he can get on the golf course. I don't know if he plays golf, actually. Does he?
We'll have to find out.
Yeah, but he's still working in some capacity. And I'm like,
just getting his eye on a lot of players, though, for whatever.
It's the mindset, right? It's the mindset. Him and I, right? I believe Jurgen Klopp's living in one of the Spanish islands, right? He's built a big house there. It was public knowledge, but big, beautiful house there.
Was there a golf course in the back garden?
I don't know if there's a golf course, but I do believe there is. I do believe there's an ocean there. And I'm just like, put your feet up. Come on. Enjoy yourself.
To that point on the clause, how do you think Julian Nagelsmann would feel about something like that?
I don't think he cares. I think Julian Nagelsmann probably is thinking, I'm doing this till the end of the World Cup anyway. I don't think Julian Nagelsmann could care less. No, not bothered.